All right, dear friends, we all assembled here this morning to bid farewell to Sumant and perform Antishti Sanskar, which is the final rites for Hindus, well, everyone. We just call it Antishti. Other religion may call it differently. So we just ask you to stand. Focus your mind on any aspect of divinity that is pleasing to you. Whatever might be your religious persuasion, that will be your mode of prayer. As you ask God to embrace the soul of Sumant, wherever it might be at this present time, our knowledge is somewhat limited, so we can't be sure where it is. We are also asking God to grant grace upon the family members to come to terms with the reality of the loss. That, as you know, is inevitable. We all will be experiencing this situation at some point in time. So let us pray. Om Shano Mitraha Shamvaruna Shano Bhavatvaryama Shanendro Bhyasati Shano Vishnu Rurukrama Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vidishyami Ritam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanamam Avatu Tadbhaktaram Avatu Mam Avatu Bhaktaram. May you, O Supreme Being, Friend of all, the holiest of all, and Controller of the universe, be merciful unto us. May you, Almighty One, Lord of the universe and support of all, endow us with knowledge and power. May you, omnipresent and omnipotent Being, shower your blessings all around us. Ishwar Stuti Pratna, glorification mantras. If you have any problem standing, you can sit. God will hear your prayer whether you're standing or not. So feel free to sit. Om Vishwani Deva Savitar Duritani Parasuva Yadbhadrantanaya Suva Om Hiranyagarbha Samavartatagre Bhutasya Jata Patirekayasi Sadadhar Prithivim Dhyamutemam Kasmai Devaya Vishavidemam Om Ya Atmada Balada Yasya Vishwa Upasate Prashisham Yasya Deva Yasya Chaya Amritam Yasya Mrityu Kasmai Devaya Vishavidema Om Ya Pranato Nimishato Mahitvai Itraja Jagato Babhuva Ya Ishe Asya Dvipadashtatushpada Kasmai Devaya Vishavidema Om Yena Jaurugra Prithvi Chadridha Yena Swastabhitam Yena Naka Yovantarekshe Rajaso Vimana Kasmai Devaya Vishavidema Om Prajapati Natvaditanyanyo Vishwajatani Parita Babhuva Yat Kamaste Juhomastano Vastu Vayam Syama Patayoreinam Om Sano Bandhur Janita Savidhata Dhamani Veda Bhuvanani Vishwa Yatra Deva Amritamani Shanas Tritiye Dhamanadhyairayantam Om Agnenaya Supatharaya Asman Vishwani Deva Vayunani Vedwan Yuyodhyasma Juhuranameno Bhoyastante Nama Uktam Videma. O self-effulgent being, all holy and of all things, lead us through the path of goodness to prosperity and knowledge, and keep us away from evil deeds. To achieve this end, may we always contemplate your divine nature and be always happy. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you very much. You may take your seats. My dear friends, death is always a sad occasion, situation. No matter how long the person has lived or how unwell the person was, when death occurs, we all feel sad. It's because, over the period of time, we have grown accustomed to the person being around us. They are no longer here, we feel that sense of sadness. As I said, initially, death is inevitable, meaning that we are all going to experience it at some point in time. What is death? Death is a separation of the soul from the body. As opposed to birth, when the soul merges with the body, but you know the process in the embryo, go through the stages, and then we're born, we go through those stages, and then we reach this stage. This is your final stage. So what happens now that the soul has become separated? The soul is referred to as Atma. Atma is the literal translation of soul. And who is God? God is Param Atma. He is the great soul. So the soul, the Jiva Atma, or that life force within each and every one of us, when we die, that soul comes out of the body and it goes back to God. Now there are two takes on this. Some pundits will tell you the soul is hovering. I don't know. I can't say for sure. What I can tell you is that the soul will be in the embrace of God. As I said, there are two takes on this. If the soul is a highly developed soul, it will merge with Paramatma. It will merge with God. If the soul is not highly developed, what happens then? It will have to come back for further elevation. And as you know, the body that you have, the human body, is the highest of God's creation. And there you are best poised to achieve what is called moksha. In the life of the Hindus, there are four objectives you try to achieve. Dharma, Artha, Kam and Moksha. Remember something before we go further? Death is a lesson for the living. So we're going to tell you give you some information here that will be valuable. Dharma. Dharma means righteousness. It means living righteously, meaning all your interpersonal relationships with the people that you come into contact with on a daily basis is of a high level. We should try to avoid all the negativities. We should try to avoid the dishonesty, all the pettiness that we usually hold all the time when we are relating with people. But as human beings, this is the frailty that we are accustomed to. And to get beyond that, you have to really be focusing on your actions. So dharma means living righteously, so your interpersonal relationships should be of a high level, and we should all try to achieve that. Artha. Artha means wealth. In Hinduism, you're allowed to accumulate wealth. Wealth is what? House, land, car, clothes, jewelry, all that constitute wealth. But it must be gained by honest means. So you cannot do anything dishonest to get money or wealth. You will be found out by the police, and very soon all your power is gone. The third objective is calm. Not C-A-L-M. After the storm we have calm. This calm is K-A-A-M, meaning pleasure. Hinduism allows you to enjoy your life to the fullest. But in so doing, always remember, do not cause pain, injury, or suffering to anyone in your pursuit of happiness. But you are allowed to have the best time possible. And the final objective is moksha, or moksha. This is the liberation from the cycle of births and deaths. So the soul, as I said, goes through cycles. And there's a point that we would merge with Paramatma, we will merge with God. When we merge with God, which is the moksha, there is no more what we call avagaman, coming and going of the soul. But if the soul is not sufficiently developed, it will have to come back. And there's no guarantee, I'm telling you, there's no guarantee you'll be getting a human form. You might come back as something else, I don't know. It all depends on what we call karma. You heard of karma? We're not the band, our band named Karma, no? We're talking about law of actions. That is karma. Put in very simply, whatever action you perform, there is an equal and opposite reaction. You do good, you will reap the rewards of your action. You do bad, you suffer the consequences of those actions. And if you don't do anything, well then you're neither here nor there. You're in a state of limbo, or you're on a plateau. There is in Hinduism, we pray through the medium of chanting of mantras and singing of bhajans. This morning we are performing the Anteshi Sanskar according to Arya Samaj rites. So there is very little ritual to perform. This bhajan is a philosophical one, meaning that there is a message in it. And this is where the lesson comes in. I want you to listen. Listen, and I want you to change a little bit of your perspective when I'm finished. उठ जाग मुसाफिर भोर भई, अब रहे न कहाँ जो सोवत है। जो जागत है सो पावत है, जो सोवत है सो कोवत है। उठ जाग मुसाफिर भोर भई, अब रहे न कहाँ जो सोवत है। उठ जाग मुसाफिर. The word ut means to wake up, spring into action. Musafir means traveler. We are all like travelers here on this earth. We are here for a short time only in the whole scheme of things. 50, 60, 100 years is a minuscule amount of time compared to eons. So spring into action. Become more conscious. Become more conscious of all the things that you do. सुख नींद से आंखें खोल जरा और अपने ईश से ध्यान लगा। सुख नींद से आंखें खोल जरा और अपने ईश से ध्यान लगा। यहाँ प्रीति करने की रीत नहीं, प्रभु जागत है तो सोवत है। उठ जाग मुसाफिर भोर भई, अब रहे न कहाँ जो सोवत है। सुख नींद से आंखें खोल जरा. Open your eyes. All of you sitting there, you looking at me, you listen, some people standing. You hearing. No, hearing is different from listening. Eh? Hearing is the words passing you by. Listening is when you stop the words and you internalize them. That is listening. Open your eyes, for you are in a state of semi-consciousness. Only God is fully conscious. And you can emulate some of the attributes of God and become more conscious of everything that you do. So open your eyes and spring into action, as the initial, the chorus said. जो कल करना है आज कर ले, जो आज करना है अब कर ले। जो कल करना है आज कर ले, जो आज करना है अब कर ले। जब चिड़ियों ने चुग के तिलिया, फिर पछताई क्या होवत है। उठ जाग मुसाफिर भोर भई, अब रहे न कहाँ जो सोवत है। जो कल करना है आज कर ले, जो आज करना अब कर ले। What you have to do tomorrow, do today. What you have to do today, do it now. For we all know from primary school, procrastination is a thief of time. When you put off things, most times you don't ever get it done. So you have something to do, do it. नादान भुगत करनी अपनी, ऐ पापी पाप में चैन कहाँ। नादान भुगत करनी अपनी, ऐ पापी पाप में चैन कहाँ। जब पाप की गतरी शीस धरी, फिर शीस पकड़ क्यों रोवत है। उठ जाग मुसाफिर भोर भई, अब रहे न कहाँ जो सोवत है। नादान भुगत करनी अपनी, ऐ पापी पाप में चैन कहाँ। When you miss the opportunity, why then do you hold your head and cry? So my dear friends, as I said, there is a lesson in death. The lesson is for the living. Utilize your time wisely. Do not let it go by idly. If you let that happen, then you will have regrets. If you live fully, then you have no regrets. Now the next thing that is remarkable when I do funerals, we see a lot of people. A lot of people. But what is more important than you being here, because Sumant can't appreciate your presence. You are here only to offer words of condolences to the family members, and in your own heart and mind say goodbye to Sumant. Do for the people when they are alive. Visit them when they're living, so they could appreciate your presence. Don't wait for this to happen to come and cry and stuff. Do it while they're living, they'll be happy. And you know a lot of people when they're doing what you call it, the eulogy and giving a little speech. We come to celebrate the life of Sumant. No, no, no. Celebrate when the person living. If you come here to celebrate, then you're happy he passed away. Don't celebrate now. Celebrate while you're living. And the next thing they normally say, he's going to a better place. How you know that? Then if he's going to a better place, then all of we should die and go to a better place. And we have to deal with Rowley and the others. No, no politics here. Sorry, they just flowered my head here. Right. Well, we all know that crime is rampant in this country. Everybody frightened to go out in the night. They're shutting all them pujas and early because of the crime situation. So my dear friends, the lesson is for you to utilize your time wisely. Do not waste it. So if there is a slight change in your perspective or your view on your remaining time, please make it useful. So that here is a message for you. And we have a reading by and anybody who would like to say a few words, you can prepare yourself. Don't commit to more paper or anything. The only paper we allow here is the eulogist. Anybody have to speak from their heart? When you speak from your heart, the sentiments really come out, you know. The truth. The truth is always there in your heart. How Sumant has touched your life in whatever way. iPad, yeah, no worries. We're going to maybe that technological society we live in now. Everything on.
Namaste everyone. Oh, okay. Sorry. Namaste everyone. If you don't know me, I'm Ravina. I'm Smarty's granddaughter. So, okay, sorry. Okay, so today we are here to reminisce on my grandfather, Sumant, also known as Papa Sumant to me and my siblings, who called him that, right? Many of you may know him as a good friend, your liming partner, brother, or, you know, whatever adventures we had in the olden days. I remember whenever my sister and I come home from school, he would be sitting on the bench, right back there, waiting for us. He would tell me about all the adventures he had back then and how different today is from a long time ago. He used to tell me about his maths teacher being Dr. Rujinat Cabaldeo, a famous local mathematician and politician. He used to explain all these maths questions I had problems with and help me through my distaste for mathematics. He was one of the most caring person I know, and even though I got buff, it shaped me into the person I am today. He had a tough exterior, but still showed that he cared by spoiling me and my siblings every birthday, Christmas, and even occasions where we just wanted something. He loved his bear, specifically Carib, and a couple years ago, I would see him leaning on the bench drinking away on his Carib. He loved watching cricket, and from what I heard, he was an exceptional cricket player back in his day. He loved river limes and a cook-up of curry duck. He made little jokes along the way, and even when his time was running out, he still made everyone's day better. Most importantly, he loved his family. Even though our little fights along the way, even though we had our little fights along the way, I would not change a thing, and I'm so grateful I had these moments with him, even though I would extend our time together. I just want to say my papa was not a perfect man, but he had his good characteristics and was a perfect grandfather in my eye. And that's all that matters. I will forever miss him, but I know he's in a much better place.
He said he's in a better place.
And, well, I don't know that, but I hope he is. And that he is happy that he's reunited with some of the family members that unfortunately passed away. I just want to say rest in peace, Papa, and you will forever be missed. Thank you.
Actually, there's no need for clapping. Right, okay, she used a very good word, reminisce. That's what we do, we reminisce, or we pay tribute Celebrate is a different word altogether. And she had a little difficulty with going to a better place. Which is quite true too. We are not so sure about that. And the other thing we're not sure about, you know, people tell you meet Papa and Mama and Nani and Nana and things. Let me explain something to you. And this is no book and other my knowledge. My name is Gyan, and Gyan means knowledge. Limited though. When you die, the soul exits the body. That's the first thing I said, right? Now, how do you recognize me? Because of my physical features. Face, whatever, going to Gyan, whatever. When I die, how would you recognize me, who I am? Not possible. Because there are no features on the soul that will tell you who I was on earth. So to meet people up there, you could use it if you want to. I have no problem with that. But think about it. You know, when we make statements, we should try to analyze the things that we say. Now, expressing sentiments. When we express sentiments, we get a clearer idea of who the person was. And that's why we have eulogy, and we also give people opportunity to say a few words. So if there's anybody else who would like to say a few words, please feel free, come forward. Right.
I don't want to reminisce. I just want to pay tribute to Smarty, Sumant, my brother, one of my elder brothers. And I don't know, some of you might have read, I posted something on his cricketing achievements on Facebook as a tribute. And there's a lot of young people here, young family. And we, the older ones, would have known him growing up. And I just want to say, I mean, 14 of us living here, all 14 was born here, and we were a gardening family. And I want to just share that the life that we went through was such a beautiful life that we never regretted one day about it. And Smarty himself, you know, gave all that he had when he was younger. And I remember the time we would be cutting grass for the cows, and Dinan and I and Subhash, and we have to fill the cart with grass and come back home. And we would catch retail with the grass knife, and Smarty will come with his left hand brushing cutlass and just knock down fast a pile of grass, and we just had to load it up. And that was the kind of thing he would do. When we were going to the market, he will make sure and drop off everything and wait and come home and bring back goods in the market for us to sell and take us to Port of Spain market and bring us back. I mean, Dada used to do some of it as well. And he was always there doing these things. He never one day flinched about doing it. Even when he was planting his own garden, he wouldn't flinch. He would plant his garden. He will come home. He will sell whatever. And I want to share something with some of you that you may not know. When Smarty finished school, Smarty did pure maths at college. Smarty had a book called Tranter. All who have studied pure maths and applied maths would know the book Tranter. Subhash used it after. I used it. Dinan used it. I'm sure our children used it, and I think they're still using that book. Hence where his maths brain was. He could account anything off his head. He was that good at maths. He was the first to study those at that level. And he was actually a teacher at St. Charles College. When the college was at the back of the church, the present church, St. Charles RC School, where we all went, he was a teacher at the college afterwards. And then I remember he telling me he get his job at Singer. And then he said, I ain't going to work and I can't dress up and go to work. And right after he started to do his gardening and whatnot. And that's the nature of how he enjoyed his life. He enjoyed his life doing that. And yes, Ravina, he loved Carib. That's the only thing I've known he drinking. I've never seen him drink anything else. Nothing else but a Caribbean. And in his cricketing days, Pinky, you're watching me, you feel I will call your name and say you just drink Arab too? His cricketing days, he was so good. Some of you young people who watch cricket now one would see the Sri Lankan Mustafizir. Slim, skinny, running and bowling left hand and licking away stumps. That's how smart he was when he was younger. And he even made a West Hall League team. In those days, to make a West Hall League team was important as a stepping stone for a Trinidad selection. And you know, when cricket started to die, in this village, we could have fielded 3 cricket teams right here in this street. Today, we can't field any teams because we don't have small kids again. But imagine we had 7 boys here. So 4 Ragbirs, 4 Mahabirs, and 3 others. Joey and the Dukrans and the boys down the street. And we will form teams. And we had 3 teams and some people couldn't even get a play. But mind you, Smarty was the one who, when he couldn't play anymore, he was able to pool all the young players together. In this village, he would captain them, he would coach them, he would mentor them. He was a certified, qualified umpire. He was also an administrator in the Trinity League, Cricket League. He was the secretary of the league, having served as assistant secretary. So his whole life was cricket. And I want to share, he was so, I don't understand why he named Smarty. You know. He used to sit outside there. And I would say, boy, you sit down here whole day doing what, boy? When he became that's some good years ago. He said, you know, I have a cricket team in my head. And he formed a game in his head that if your car passed there, that was a 6 runs. And if the car passed that way, it was a wicket. And he would have a full game in his head and tell me who will win. If a lady pass was 2 runs, a lady pass in the opposite direction was a caught out. And he did that in his head. And he built that game between his head. In fact, some of the young computer people, it's a good thing to probably develop an app to develop a game of cricket like that. He had it all in his head. And I want to say, I don't want to say goodbye. I have said my goodbyes to him when he was around. And, but it was a pleasure to have him as a brother. He was one of my elder brothers. I have 5 more brothers around, and I cherish all of them. And I cherish my sisters, and I'm sure my sisters as well. Some of them couldn't make it today, but they are all their hearts and they are following it, and I'm sure that they will say their prayers wherever they are. Thank you.
Hi, my dear friends, you've heard. Well, I call him Lolly. Expressing sentiments, again, I say, you get a clearer idea. So he has left a legacy. Cricket team, everything that he was involved in, that is the legacy that he has left. What is your legacy? Think about it, do something so people will remember you by. And you use one word, the grass knife. You know, for the young people, they don't know what a grass knife is, anything, a knife to cut grass. But it's this curved tool, like this, and you take it and you hold the grass. Well, I from a long time too, eh? Real long. Lolly and I were in Hillview together, so you could know. Once you know his age, you know my age. Right, so is there anyone who would like to? Right, we have.
Namaste, Sitaram, everyone. Good morning to you all. I am one of the villagers. I live a few houses down Western End. I've grown up in front of Smarty, Lolly. Well, Anand grew up in front of me because I'm older than him. And Lolly mentioned the cricketing career of Sumant, but I prefer to call him Smarty. I think everybody knows him as Smarty. And I now understand why he's called Smarty. I remember going as a child and watching him bowl. He was a fast, we call it a fast spinner. You normally have, leg break. You normally have the slow spinners like Sulan Narayan and so on. But he was one of the fast men, which Lolly alluded to. And I remember seeing him, how he used to be taking those wickets, coming down with that left hand, and that speed is amazing. To know that that energy had dissipated over the years, that when he became ill, I paid him a couple of visits. I remember leaving once a book on golf for Anand to collect, and he had to leave it right through the window there, and Anand came subsequently, because Anand and Lolly are now into golf. We have moved over from cricket in a way. And Subhash as well, I understand. And I had the privilege of also going to school with one of Smarty's younger sister, that's Kaloti. I understand she's not here today. And I remember she was the brightest girl in the school. When we were, that time we had a pass common entrance. It was not called SCA, it was common entrance. You had a pass or you fail. So I was very impressed that one of the other brothers, and I'm talking more about the family here than Smarty, but they are all linked. That is Danan. I think he's somewhere in the audience here. Danan qualified as an engineer, civil engineer. And he decided to give up that career and go into agriculture. I'm amazed at that. And I also learned that Smarty, who was a teacher, give up that to do gardening. It is amazing. I haven't heard that in any family where people went back into agriculture, having graduated and could have been fitting into the mainstream. So it's amazing that this family has taken that kind of step, which some people may see as backward, but I see it as something very progressive, because it became functional to them, you see. So growing up as a child in front of Smarty was a privilege. I've never heard him raise his voice. In fact, I hardly remember how he talks at all. He was so soft. And then I remember, Usha is the name? Or Reshma? Hema. You were working at Prayers at one time? Yes, right. I met his daughter at Prayers, and I only found out accidentally, because Smarty was very, so private. And then when she asked me where I live, and I tell her on Wilkin Street, she said, "But you know my dad?" I said, "No." And then she told me that, I said, "But I didn't know the link." But I was very happy to see her. She has taken out so many of her softer qualities, and that's a good legacy that Smarty has left with us. I also learned Smarty's name. I could never get it correct until I heard the death announcement the day before. But Sumant, I used to always make mistakes. Sumant as Bimal. And yeah, Bimal as Sumant, right? So now I know that Bimal is the elder of the brothers, and Smarty will follow just after, or Sumant. Thank you, Panditji, for allowing me to say a few words. And I'm glad that I was able to take up from where Lolly left out with respect to his cricketing career and his own personality in the village. Growing up, he was a role model for us, and I thank him, wherever your soul may be, for being what you are and for having such a nice family that would carry on your legacy as well as your children. Thank you very much. Sit down.
Feeding the nation, agriculture. That's the greatest thing we can do. All the engineers and doctors, and they're only making money, plenty. The gardener. We are totally dependent on farmers, gardeners, dairy farmers, whatever you have, providing food, feeding the nation, feeding the world. So again, we add to that legacy. So my dear friends, anybody else? We have a pundit in the making here, Mr. Anand. Anandji, brother of Sumant. You know the guy used to listen to the song, Sumant Kalyanpur. Then you know Sumant.
Namaste. You put me in a spot here, requiring. I'd like to mention a few things that before Sumant left us, I used to be here regularly with him, chatting on the in the bed. And he, a day he came, he called me. Well, he had my number, so he called me and said, "Come." So I come and he sit down in the gallery. He said, I'm not well enough, and I don't know how long I will last. So I said, don't worry, you have to be strong and hold on. And then I told him we need to take him to a doctor. And he refused. He didn't want to. So Ravi, Hema and Ravi were there, and they decided we will call the ambulance. So they did, and that's history now. So it shows you the determination with him. He made up his mind. He don't want to go there, the hospital. That's it. And he said to me, I don't think I could go any further. He was really in pain. And I want to, I was there to try to build that courage, that determination to hold on. But he sat there and he said it will be difficult. He was in pain, and I could have felt, the pain he was in. But, I mean, that's history now, But I would like to mention a few things that it will bring tears to my eyes. But when I was about 12 years, I used to be in the garden with Mom and him and Dada, working, in the body field, in the tomato field. And a day I made a mistake. I went and picked the other farmer. I went and picked their passion fruit. I said, well, I want some passion fruit. I didn't realize it was another person's passion fruit, so I went and picked it. When I come back, first time he ever beat me, I get a cocktail from him. And that taught me a lesson for my life. Never touch another person's property. And that lesson I have learned through my brother Sumant. And you see, I'm nervous now. So that lesson taught me never touch another person's property, another person's wealth. And I hope that is a lesson for everyone else. Do not interfere with other people's property, wealth, anything. Just appreciate what you have and be contented with what Bhagwan has given to you. So with those few words, I'd like to say, Namaste.
So whether you pick the passion fruit consciously or unconsciously, I stealing. And you get looks, right? Nowadays we don't beat children. Because, all them great psychiatrists and psychologists say you got damage the psyche and whatever. And look what's happening to the country. Mass chaos. Nobody listening. Children behaving, stabbing one another in school, fighting. That is because of no licks. I grew up with a lot of licks. My father, if you hear my history, think that was serious, mine was worse than that. Licks like that. But it didn't make me a pundit, yeah? I only became this because of, I don't know how it happened. Yeah. But in the blood, father was pundit, uncles pundit, so on and so on. So I was predisposed to some extent. So my dear friends, if you have anybody else to say a few words, right, keep it brief. We are operating with some time constraints. As usual, people say 1 o'clock, but we can't go before 1. If you go after 1, they'll lock the gate. So, right, so we have some flowers. Arya Samaj, funerals, cremation. There's no flowers, no offerings, no chandans, whatever you have that you offer in the sanatas. But we have some flowers. We want to give you an opportunity now to come and take a flower and say your own goodbyes. So we're asking Anand, the youngest, take the basket of the flowers and say the basket are arrangement. Anything you want, yeah. Right. Right, so anyone who like, we take the family members first. All family members, welcome. Right, stand down, sir. Children, grandchildren, good friends, neighbors. Yeah. So I'll sing you a little bhajan while that's being done. Yeah. Anand, but they sit on the electric and they walk up and go around it. This bhajan, Chanchal Mananita Om Japakar. The mind is chanchal, meaning that it's very difficult to focus. Yeah. If you want to share, just go down there and share it. Right, so we're trying to do it in an orderly fashion. As you put your flowers, you just keep walking around and you go back to your seat or wherever you were, standing position. This way, clockwise always. Clockwise always. Chan chal mananit om japakar, om japakar om. Pal pal chin chin ghari ghari nishadin, om japakar om. Japakar om, japakar om. Chal chal mananit om japakar, om japakar om. Pal pal chin chin ghari ghari nishadin, om japakar om, japakar om, japakar om. प्रात समय की सुख वेला में संध्या के पुलकित रजनी में प्रात समय की सुख वेला में संध्या के पुलकित रजनी में संध्या के पुलकित रजनी में रोम रोम से निकले तेरे ओम जपा कर ओम पल पल छिन छिन घड़ी घड़ी निषदिन ओम जपा कर ओम जपा कर ओम जपा कर ओम गहरा सागर टूटी नैया जीवन तरने ओम की वैया गहरा सागर टूटी नैया जीवन तरने ओम की वैया जीवन तरने ओम की वैया पार करेंगे ओम ओम जपा कर ओम पल पल छिन छिन घड़ी घड़ी निषदिन ओम जपा कर ओम जपा कर ओम जपा कर ओम सार तत्व की खोज किए जा नाम सरस रस रोज पिए जा सार तत्व की खोज किए जा नाम सरस रस रोज पिए जा नाम सरस रस रोज पिए जा पार करेंगे ओम ओम जपा कर ओम पल पल छिन छिन घड़ी घड़ी निषदिन ओम जपा कर ओम जपा कर ओम जपा कर ओम. Is there anyone who would like to sing a bhajan? No? Yeah, this is your opportunity to say your last farewell. As you offer your flower, you say goodbye, Sumant. Because I'm sure, as the eulogist said, you would have touched lives in many different ways. तू है सच्चा पिता सारे संसार का ओम प्यारा तू ही है रक्षक हमारा तू है सच्चा पिता सारे संसार का ओम प्यारा तू ही है रक्षक हमारा चांद सूरज सितारे बनाए पृथ्वी आकाश पर्वत सजाए चांद सूरज सितारे बनाए पृथ्वी आकाश पर्वत सजाए अंत पाया नहीं तेरा पाया नहीं परवारा तू ही है रक्षक हमारा तू है सच्चा पिता सारे संसार का ओम प्यारा तू ही है रक्षक हमारा. Your final call, eh? Yep. Unless people have to take away. I believe on that, yeah, you could send it to. पक्षगण राग सुंदर है गाते, जीव जंतु भी सिर है झुकाते। पक्षगण राग सुंदर है गाते, जीव जंतु भी सिर है झुकाते। उसको ही सुख मिला तेरे राह पर चला जो प्यारा। तू ही है रक्षक हमारा, तू है सच्चा पिता सारे संसार का ओम प्यारा। तू ही है रक्षक हमारा। This bhajan is asking God to protect you at all times. रक्षक। पाप पाखंड हमसे चुराओ, वीर मर्पैक हमको चलाओ। पाप पाखंड हमसे चुराओ, वीर मर्पैक हमको चलाओ। लगे भक्ति में मन करे संध्या हवन जगत सारा। तू ही है रक्षक हमारा, तू है सच्चा पिता सारे संसार का ओम प्यारा। तू ही है रक्षक हमारा। अपने भक्ति मेरे मन लगाना, कष्ट नंदलाल के सब मिटाना। अपने भक्ति मेरे मन लगाना, कष्ट नंदलाल के सब मिटाना। तू किया कंगालों का और धन वालों का तू सहारा। तू ही है रक्षक हमारा, तू है सच्चा पिता सारे संसार का ओम प्यारा। तू ही है रक्षक हमारा, तू ही है रक्षक हमारा। तू ही है रक्षक हमारा। All right, my dear friends, we're giving you now one final moment, what you call final viewing. If you are satisfied with what you have already done, well, if no one else wants to say anything, we ask you to stand. See, nobody listening to me? Huh? No, you could go ahead. No, that's staying right there. Right, so let us all stand. This is the beauty of Arya Samaj rites. Very, very simple. We do prayers, mantras, we have a discourse, we have eulogy, few people expressing their sentiments, and that's it. So I want you once again to bow your heads in prayer. Focus your mind on Paramatma, God. Whatever might be your religious persuasion, that will be your mode of prayer. Asking God to embrace the soul of Sumant. And also to lend courage to the family members to come to terms with the reality of the loss. Although death is inevitable, we always have this great difficulty coming to terms with it when it happens. So let us pray. Pray sincerely. Pray with love in your hearts. Om Sarvesham Mangalam Bhuyat Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashiyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkham Bhavavit. There is a beautiful bhajan. Lord Krishna. Arya Samajas accept Krishna as Purushottam Krishna, meaning a great personage. Also like Rama. So we can sing this bhajan without fear. And everybody should know this, whether you are Samajas or whatever. Jai Krishna Hare, Shri Krishna Hare, Dukhiyon ko dukh dur kare. Jai Krishna Hare, Shri Krishna Hare, Dukhiyon ko dukh dur kare. Jai 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 Krishna Hare. When you sing bhajans, you are praying, always remember that. जब चार तरफ अंधियारा हो, आशा का दूर किनारा हो, और कोई न केवल हारा हो, फिर तू ही बेड़ा पार करो। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे। दुखियों को दुख दूर करे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। तू चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे, विष को भी अमृत कर दे, पूर्ण कर दे सबकी आशा, पूर्ण कर दे सबकी आशा। जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे, जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे। दुखियों को दुख दूर करे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। ओम असतो मा सद्गमय, तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय, मृत्युर्मा अमृतं गमय। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव, त्वमेव बन्धुशसखा त्वमेव, त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। ओम द्यौ शांति, अंतरिक्षगं शांति, पृथ्वी शांतिरापा शांति, औषधया शांति, वनस्पतया शांति, विश्वदेव शांतिर्ब्रह्मा शांति, सर्वगं शांति, शांतिरेव शांति सामा शांतिरेधि। May there be peace in the heavenly regions. May there be peace in the atmosphere. May peace reign on earth. May the waters be soothing and may the medicinal herbs be healing. May the plants be the source of peace to all. May all enlightened persons bring peace to us. And may the Vedas spread peace throughout. And may all other objects give us peace. And may peace even bring peace. And may that peace come to us forever. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you very much. If anybody else would like to come forward and view, please feel free. This concludes our service this morning.
Telling everybody that you are here and look at my hair.
Did you have this here straight? You know that?
Let me know the kind of history you have.
Baba right now? Buto ka. Buto yung partner, right?
I birthday partner now, you gotta celebrate it.
Birthday partner.
You know, celebrate now.
Are you birthday partner?
Oh, you're going home soon? You're coming back?
Yeah, by not saying that.
I want to leave my car here and go home. Who from here?
Left.